Dr. Natalie Rhodes stood at the observatory window of the Lunar Research Station Omega, her eyes fixed on the strange phenomenon that had appeared in Earth's orbit 3 days ago. The swirling mass of purple and silver energy defied all known laws of physics, and its presence had thrown the scientific community into chaos. "Dr. Rhodes, you need to see this," called out Marcus Zhang, her lead quantum analyst. His fingers flew across the holographic display, bringing up new readings that made Natalie's heart skip a beat. The energy signature matched perfectly with the ancient petroglyphs they discovered in the Atacama Desert 6 months ago. The massive quantum computer they'd built to decode the petroglyphs had been running simulations for months without success. But now, with this mysterious storm as a reference point, everything was starting to make sense. The ancient carvings weren't just art, they were a warning. "Get me Director Harrison," Natalie commanded, her voice steady despite the gravity of their discovery. "And contact Dr. James Akanjo at the African Space Agency. His research on quantum entanglement might be the key to understanding this." Within hours, the lunar station's conference room was filled with holographic projections of Earth's leading scientists. Director Victoria Harrison's stern face dominated the main screen, while Dr. Akanjo's excited gestures caught everyone's attention from another. "The storm isn't natural," Natalie explained, pulling up three-dimensional models of their findings. "It's artificial, a technology so advanced it appears magical to our current understanding. The ancients called it the quiet storm, and according to these readings, it's only the beginning." As if responding to her words, the station's sensors began blaring. A massive ship had appeared at the edge of the solar system, its design unlike anything humanity had ever encountered. Its surface seemed to ripple like liquid metal, and it moved with an impossible grace that defied conventional physics. "This is Captain Rith of the Zenith Exploration vessel," a voice echoed through their communications system, speaking perfect English. "We've been monitoring your species' development. The appearance of the quiet storm indicates you're ready for first contact." The revelation sent shockwaves through the scientific community. The Zenith, as they called themselves, were an ancient race who had seeded the galaxy with their technology eons ago. The petroglyphs were their warning system, designed to activate when a civilization reached the brink of a crucial evolutionary leap. But they weren't alone in watching humanity. The Kraken Empire, a warlike species that had destroyed countless developing civilizations, had also noticed Earth's emergence. The quiet storm wasn't just a signal, it was a weapon, left behind by the Zenith to help developing races defend themselves. Natalie found herself working alongside Zenith scientists, their advanced knowledge helping her understand the true nature of the storm. Lieutenant John Hawthorne, a former Navy SEAL turned Space Force commander, was assigned to lead the security team protecting their research. "The storm responds to conscious thought," explained Zara, a Zenith scientist whose crystalline form shifted colors as she spoke. "Your species has a unique genetic marker that allows you to interface with our technology, but you must learn to control it before the Kraken arrive." As if to emphasize the urgency of their mission, long-range sensors detected multiple Kraken warships entering the outer solar system. They had less than a month to master technology that had taken other species centuries to understand. "We need to accelerate the training," Hawthorne insisted during an emergency meeting. "The Kraken won't wait for us to be ready." Natalie looked at the assembled team, humans and Zenith working together, racing against time to prepare Earth for its greatest challenge. The quiet storm swirled outside their window, its power growing stronger as more humans learned to connect with it. "Then we'll have to do the impossible," she declared, pulling up the latest simulation results. "Because if we fail, Earth won't survive what's coming." The first breakthrough came during a routine test. Private First Class Diana Rodriguez, one of Hawthorne's security team members, accidentally activated a dormant piece of Zenith technology. Her natural ability to interface with the alien devices was unprecedented, giving them hope that humanity might master the quiet storm in time. As Earth's government scrambled to prepare their populations for the existence of alien life, Natalie and her team worked tirelessly to unlock the secrets of the storm. Each day brought new discoveries, and with them, new challenges. The Kraken were coming, and humanity's future hung in the balance. The myth of the quiet storm had become reality, and Earth's children would soon prove whether they were worthy of its power. The formation of the International Space Coalition happened faster than anyone could have predicted. Within 2 weeks of the Zenith's arrival, Earth's major powers had set aside their differences, united by the common threat of the approaching Kraken fleet. The Lunar Research Station, Omega, transformed into humanity's primary defense headquarters, its corridors now filled with military personnel from every nation. Commander Raj Patel, formerly of the Indian Space Force, stood before the holographic display of the solar system, watching as red dots representing Kraken vessels steadily approached. Each ship was larger than anything humanity had ever built, their weapons capable of reducing entire cities to ash. "The neural interface training is progressing well," reported Dr. Wei Chen, the quantum neurologist who had developed the system allowing humans to connect with Zenith technology. She pulled up the latest test results, showing remarkable improvements in their candidates' ability to manipulate the quiet storm's energy. Private Rodriguez had become their star pupil, her natural affinity for the alien technology inspiring others. Under her guidance, a special unit of storm riders was forming, soldiers and scientists who could tap into the mysterious force that the ancients had left behind. "The Kraken will deploy their psychic disruptors first," warned Zan, another Zenith advisor whose metallic skin reflected the blue light of the holographic displays. "They've used this strategy to devastating effect against other emerging civilizations. The mental attack precedes the physical one." Lieutenant Hawthorne, who had been studying Kraken battle tactics, nodded grimly. "That's why we've been focusing on psychological resilience in our training. Rodriguez, show them what you've discovered." Diana Rodriguez stepped forward, her eyes glowing with a faint purple light, a side effect of prolonged exposure to the quiet storm. With a gesture, she created a shield of swirling energy around herself, demonstrating the defensive techniques they'd developed. "The storm doesn't just respond to thought," she explained, her voice carrying the slight echo that all storm riders developed. "It responds to emotion, to will. The stronger our resolve, the more powerful our control becomes." Dr. Natalie Rhodes had been right. Humanity's unique genetic marker made them especially suited to wielding the quiet storm. What took other species centuries to master, humans were learning in weeks. But would it be enough? The answer came sooner than expected. A Kraken scout ship breached the outer defense perimeter, testing Earth's readiness. It was Commander Patel who coordinated humanity's first real space battle, combining conventional weapons with their newfound powers. "Storm Riders, engage at will," he ordered, watching as Rodriguez led her team into space. Their specialized suits, designed by a collaboration of human and Zenith engineers, allowed them to survive in the vacuum while channeling the storm's energy. The Kraken vessel, a massive construct of black metal and pulsing red energy, launched its first attack. Instead of conventional weapons, it released a wave of psychic energy designed to incapacitate any living being within range. But humanity had been preparing for this. The Storm Riders created a collective shield, their combined will turning the quiet storm into an impenetrable barrier. The Kraken attack dissipated harmlessly against it, and for the first time in recorded history, their initial assault failed. "Now," Rodriguez commanded, and her team counterattacked. They moved as one, using the storm's energy to tear through the Kraken ship's defenses. The alien vessel, designed to resist conventional weapons, had no defense against the very technology its creators had sought to suppress. The battle was over in minutes. The Kraken scout ship, reduced to floating debris, served as a powerful message to the approaching fleet. Humanity would not be an easy target. "This will only make them more determined," Zan cautioned during the post-battle briefing. "The Kraken Empire has never failed to conquer an emerging civilization. They will come with everything they have." Dr. Rhodes, who had been analyzing data from the battle, made a startling discovery. The storm is evolving, she announced, showing readings that even the Zenith found surprising. It's not just responding to our commands, it's learning, adapting to our needs. This revelation brought both hope and concern. The quiet storm was more than a weapon or a tool. It was becoming an extension of humanity itself. Each victory strengthened the connection, but also raised questions about the true nature of this ancient technology. As the main Kraken fleet drew closer, Earth prepared for the greatest battle in its history. The International Space Coalition expanded its operations, converting the entire moon into a fortress. Storm Rider training facilities were established across the globe, identifying and recruiting those with the strongest connection to the mysterious force. Commander Patel and Lieutenant Hawthorne worked tirelessly to integrate conventional military tactics with the new capabilities the storm provided. They knew the coming battle would require everything humanity had learned, and more. In her private quarters, Diana Rodriguez stood at the window, watching Earth glow blue and green below. The quiet storm swirled around her, responding to her thoughts and emotions. Humanity had unlocked something powerful, something that had been waiting for them since ancient times. But as their mastery grew, so did the weight of responsibility that came with it. The true test was approaching, and the fate of Earth would depend on how well they had learned to unleash the storm. The Kraken invasion began at dawn. 300 warships emerged from hyperspace, their massive forms blocking out the stars as they approached Earth's defense perimeter. The sight was enough to strike fear into the hearts of even the most hardened warriors, but humanity was ready. Commander Patel stood at the command center of Lunar Base Omega, his calm demeanor masking the tension he felt. "All Storm Rider squadrons, report in," he ordered, watching as holographic markers showed their forces taking position around Earth. Diana Rodriguez led the Alpha Squadron, their specialized vessels designed to channel the quiet storm's energy. "Alpha Squadron ready," she reported, her voice steady. Behind her, 20 of Earth's most powerful storm riders waited for orders. The Kraken fleet's formation was unlike anything their simulations had predicted. Instead of spreading out to surround Earth, they concentrated their ships into a massive arrow formation. At its tip was a vessel twice the size of the others, the flagship of Supreme Commander Vexther, the most feared military leader in the Kraken Empire. "They're charging their primary weapons," Dr. Wei Chen announced, monitoring the energy readings. "But there's something else, an energy signature we haven't seen before." Before anyone could react, the Kraken flagship released a burst of crimson energy that tore through space itself. The quiet storm surrounding Earth began to fluctuate wildly, its familiar patterns disrupting. "They've weaponized null quantum fields," Zan explained, his crystalline form dimming with concern. "They're trying to neutralize the storm." But the Kraken had miscalculated. Instead of dissipating, the quiet storm responded to the attack in an unexpected way. The purple-silver energy coalesced around Earth's defenders, becoming more concentrated and powerful. "The storm," Rodriguez gasped, feeling the energy surge through her neural interface. "It's not just a weapon or a defense system, it's alive." Dr. Natalie Rhodes, who had been studying ancient data recovered from Zenith archives, finally understood. The petroglyphs weren't just warnings, they were instructions. The quiet storm is a conscious entity, one that chose humanity as its partner. This revelation changed everything. The Storm Riders stopped trying to control the energy and instead began working in harmony with it. The effect was immediate and dramatic. "All squadrons engage," Commander Patel ordered, implementing their battle strategy. Earth's combined fleet, human warships, Zenith support vessels, and Storm Rider squadrons moved as one against the Kraken armada. The battle that followed would be remembered for centuries. Kraken warships unleashed devastating weapon salvos, while their psychic warriors attempted to break the defenders' resolve. But for every Kraken attack, the Human-Storm partnership had an answer. Rodriguez led Alpha Squadron through maneuvers that should have been impossible, their vessels weaving through enemy fire as if guided by precognition. The quiet storm responded to their intentions before they even fully formed, creating shields and launching counterattacks with perfect precision. Lieutenant Hawthorne coordinated the conventional forces, their weapons enhanced by storm energy. "Focus fire on their flagship's stern quarter," he commanded. "Their shield harmonics are weakening." The Kraken, faced with resistance unlike anything they'd encountered before, began to show signs of confusion. Their perfect formation broke apart as human forces exploited weaknesses that shouldn't have existed in their superior technology. But Supreme Commander Vexther was not easily defeated. The Kraken flagship suddenly unleashed its ultimate weapon, a reality-warping beam that began to tear apart the fabric of space-time around Earth's defenders. "All units fall back," Commander Patel ordered, watching in horror as the destructive wave approached. But retreating would leave Earth exposed to the Kraken fleet. In that crucial moment, Diana Rodriguez made a decision that would change the course of the battle. Instead of retreating, she flew directly toward the reality-warping beam, her consciousness fully merged with the quiet storm. "Rodriguez, what are you doing?" Hawthorne demanded over the comm. "Trust the storm," she replied, her voice carrying an otherworldly echo. "It's been waiting for this moment for millennia." As Rodriguez's vessel met the Kraken weapon, something extraordinary happened. The quiet storm responded to her complete trust, manifesting in a way never seen before. A massive vortex of purple-silver energy formed around her ship, absorbing the reality-warping beam and channeling its power. Dr. Rhodes watched in amazement as her instruments recorded the impossible. "The storm is using their own weapon against them," she explained. "It's converting their destructive energy into something new." The vortex expanded, enveloping nearby Storm Rider squadrons. Each pilot felt a deep connection not just to the storm, but to each other and to the ancient force that had chosen humanity as its allies. Commander Patel, recognizing the opportunity, gave the order that would be remembered through history. "All Storm Riders follow Rodriguez's lead. Trust in the storm and show the Kraken why humanity was chosen." The battle entered its final phase, but its outcome would lead to discoveries that would reshape humanity's understanding of both the universe and their place in it. The quiet storm had revealed its true nature, and Earth's defenders were about to demonstrate why myths sometimes become reality. In the aftermath of Diana Rodriguez's merging with the quiet storm, everything changed. The purple-silver vortex that had absorbed the Kraken's reality-warping beam continued to expand, but now it was doing something unprecedented. Every human connected to the storm felt it, an awakening of abilities that had laid dormant in their DNA for millennia. Dr. Natalie Rhodes worked frantically in her laboratory aboard Lunar Base Omega, analyzing the transformation occurring in Storm Riders across the fleet. "Their genetic structure is reorganizing itself," she explained to Commander Patel and the Zenith advisors. "The storm isn't just working with us, it's evolving us." Lieutenant Hawthorne, who had been coordinating defensive positions around Earth, reported unusual readings from the planet's surface. Ancient structures, hidden beneath ice caps and ocean floors, had begun to react to the storm's energy. The quiet storm wasn't just a weapon left behind by the Zenith. It was the key to unlocking Earth's own defensive system. "Your planet was chosen long ago," Zan revealed, his crystalline form pulsing with excitement. "The Zenith didn't just leave the storm here by chance. Earth was specifically prepared for this moment." Commander Patel received urgent communications from ground stations worldwide. Massive structures were emerging from hidden locations, in the Mariana Trench, beneath the Antarctic ice, deep in the Amazon rainforest, and at other strategic points around the globe. Each installation hummed with the same energy that powered the storm. "They're planetary defense platforms," Dr. Wei Chen realized, studying the energy signatures. "But they're not Zenith technology. They're older, much older." Diana Rodriguez, still leading Alpha Squadron, had become something more than human. Her consciousness now existed partially within the quiet storm itself, allowing her to perceive reality in ways that defied conventional understanding. Through her enhanced awareness, she made a stunning discovery. "The storm is showing me the truth," she communicated to the command center. Earth was once home to an ancient civilization, the predecessors of the Zenith. They didn't just leave us technology, they left us their legacy. We are their descendants. This revelation sent shockwaves through both human and Zenith ranks. The Kraken fleet, which had been regrouping after their failed attack, suddenly faced an enemy that was evolving before their eyes. Supreme Commander Vexther, watching from his flagship as human forces displayed increasingly advanced abilities, made a fateful decision. The Kraken fleet began charging their weapons for a synchronized strike that would destroy Earth entirely rather than allow humanity to reach its full potential. But they had waited too long. Around the planet, the ancient defense platforms fully activated, responding to humanity's awakened connection to the storm. A web of purple-silver energy began forming around Earth, each platform contributing to a protective field unlike anything seen in the galaxy's recent history. Commander Patel, understanding the significance of the moment, gave a new order. All Storm Riders, synchronize with the planetary defense grid. Let's show the Kraken what humanity can really do. The response was immediate. Every Storm Rider in the fleet felt their connection to the ancient technology strengthen. The quiet storm, which had started as a mysterious phenomenon, was now revealing itself to be part of a vast network of defensive systems, all designed to be controlled by humanity once they were ready. Diana Rodriguez led her squadron in the first coordinated attack using the fully activated system. The storm responded to their commands with unprecedented precision, creating weapons and defenses that adapted instantly to the Kraken's tactics. The genetic markers, Dr. Rhodes explained, watching the battle unfold. They weren't just for interfacing with the technology. They were dormant abilities planted in our DNA by the ancient civilization, waiting for the right moment to activate. Lieutenant Hawthorne, coordinating with ground forces, reported that civilians with latent abilities were beginning to manifest powers across the globe. The awakening wasn't limited to trained Storm Riders. It was spreading to all of humanity. The Kraken fleet, facing an enemy that was growing stronger by the minute, launched their desperate final attack. Thousands of energy beams converged on Earth, enough firepower to crack a planet's crust. But the planetary defense system, now fully operational and guided by humanity's collective will, stood firm. What happened next would be remembered as the moment humanity truly awakened. The quiet storm, responding to the combined consciousness of millions of newly awakened humans, transformed from a defensive weapon into something far more powerful. It became a manifestation of humanity's potential, a bridge between their past and their future. Commander Patel, watching as his species took its next evolutionary step, understood that this was just the beginning. The ancient civilization hadn't just left them technology. They had left them the tools to become something greater than they had ever imagined. The battle's outcome would determine not just Earth's fate, but humanity's place in the galaxy. As the Kraken fleet pressed their attack, humanity prepared to show the universe why they had been chosen as the inheritors of the ancient civilization's legacy. The final battle for Earth's future unfolded across multiple dimensions of reality. The Kraken fleet's desperate assault met a humanity that had transcended its former limitations. The quiet storm, now fully integrated with both the ancient planetary defense system and humanity's awakened abilities, turned Earth's orbit into a kaleidoscope of purple-silver energy. Supreme Commander Vexther watched in growing horror as his supposedly invincible fleet faced an enemy that seemed to rewrite the laws of physics at will. His tactical displays showed impossible readings, human vessels appearing and disappearing at quantum speeds, weapons that shouldn't exist, and defense systems that adapted faster than his most advanced computers could analyze. "All ships execute Protocol Omega," he commanded, initiating the Kraken Empire's most devastating attack strategy. "If we cannot conquer this world, we will ensure nothing remains of it." The Kraken fleet began a complex maneuver, their ships arranging themselves into a precise geometric pattern. Energy began flowing between vessels, building toward a catastrophic release that would tear apart the fabric of space-time itself around Earth. From her position leading Alpha Squadron, Diana Rodriguez perceived the threat on multiple levels of reality simultaneously. Her enhanced consciousness, merged with the quiet storm, understood exactly what the Kraken planned and why they would fail. "Commander Patel," she communicated to Lunar Base, "the storm is showing me something. The ancient defense platforms, they're not just defensive weapons. They're nodes in a quantum network that spans the entire solar system." Dr. Natalie Rhodes, analyzing data from the Awaken platforms, made the connection. "The whole system is a quantum computer of unprecedented scale," she realized, "and humanity's collective consciousness is its operating system." Commander Patel understood what needed to be done. "All Storm Riders, all awakened humans, focus your consciousness through the network. The ancient civilization didn't just leave us weapons. They left us their understanding of reality itself." Across Earth, millions of newly awakened humans felt the call. The quiet storm responded to their unified will, transforming from separate streams of energy into a coherent field that encompassed the entire solar system. Every human connected to the storm could feel it, access to knowledge and power that had waited eons for worthy inheritors. Lieutenant Hawthorne, coordinating the conventional fleet's movements, watched in awe as human ships began moving in perfect synchronization with the storm. "The boundary between technology and consciousness is breaking down," he reported. "We're not just using the storm anymore, we're becoming one with it." The Kraken's ultimate attack reached its crescendo. A wave of destructive energy unlike anything seen in the galaxy's recent history erupted from their fleet, aimed at the heart of Earth. But humanity was ready. Diana Rodriguez led the response, her consciousness expanded through the quantum network. "Now we show them why the Ancient Ones chose us," she commanded. Every storm rider, every awakened human, every defense platform responded as one. The quiet storm transformed into something beyond energy or matter, a manifestation of humanity's collective will. When the Kraken's attack met this unified force, reality itself seemed to hold its breath. Dr. Wei Chen, monitoring the quantum fluctuations, could barely believe her readings. "The storm isn't just stopping their attack," she announced. "It's restructuring the very fabric of space-time around us." The Kraken weapon, designed to destroy worlds, found itself contained and transformed by humanity's mastery of the storm. The destructive energy was absorbed, channeled, and redirected through the ancient quantum network. In that moment, humanity demonstrated why they had been chosen as the inheritors of such power, not just for their ability to wield it, but for their wisdom in how to use it. Instead of retaliating with destruction, humanity turned the Kraken's own energy against their fleet in a way that disabled rather than destroyed. Ships went dark, weapons systems failed, and the mighty armada that had terrorized countless civilizations found itself powerless. Supreme Commander Vexther, watching his fleet systems shut down one by one, received a transmission from Commander Patel. "The age of conquest is over," the human leader declared. "Earth is under the protection of both the ancient powers and humanity's awakened potential. Choose your next actions carefully." The Kraken commander, faced with an enemy that had transcended conventional warfare, made the first surrender in his empire's history. As the disabled Kraken fleet was escorted away from Earth by Storm Rider squadrons, humanity began to fully understand its new place in the galaxy. Dr. Rhodes, studying the vast repository of knowledge now accessible through the quantum network, made an announcement that would shape humanity's future. "The ancient civilization didn't just leave us technology," she explained. "They left us a roadmap to the stars and the wisdom to use it responsibly." The quiet storm, no longer just a weapon or a defense system, had become humanity's bridge to a greater destiny. Earth's children had proven themselves worthy of their inheritance, not through conquest or destruction, but through their ability to transform a weapon of war into a tool of consciousness and creation. As the purple-silver energy of the storm continued to dance around Earth, humanity looked to the stars with new understanding. They had faced their trial by fire and emerged transformed. The myth had become reality, and the quiet storm had awakened humanity's true potential.